Hi guys, Ryu here, and let's finish this main part of the gun. So let's turn off the scope and laser because we're done with it. Let's turn off the screws and tripods so we're not confused, and we can focus on this main bit. So first of all, we need to, make sure everything is mirrored to the other side. So let's see, this one is mirrored, this one is mirrored, this is mirrored, the legs are properly mirrored too. The last thing I wanted to do is actually this bit, okay? Now, you don't have to do this if your machine will not allow for it. I want to bevel it, but literally, this is gonna probably push this geo to some crazy stuff, crazy levels. So I'm gonna drop a bevel in here. It's gonna be a small one too, and I'm gonna leave segments on one because I literally don't need more in here, and change to angle, right? And turn off the clamping, and the bevel is gonna go nuts. So we're gonna go with 0.000 maybe 2. Let's see how we're looking. Yeah, we're looking pretty decent. We need weighted normals. Yeah, it will not work without weighted normals. So let me see that. Auto smooth is not enabled. Shade smooth, and there you go. And auto smooth. And this should work perfect. So you see, it's just a little bit smoother, right? It's just, catches a bit more light, and that's what I want. So I'm not gonna bother with beveling these small edges because it would be insanity. But the connections here, let me see. But they're not ideal. There's a lot of unnecessary geo in here. I mean, these are quads, but we don't really need that many. But I'm just gonna leave it as is. And let me see here. Let's go to bevel ones. Let's see with more segments if it's gonna be any better. Let's go to 3. It does shade better. It does shade better. It does shade better. You know what? I'm just gonna go with 2 segments. 3 actually. But you see the geo jump to how many now? If I turn everything on, it's probably almost 4 million or above that. So 3.9 million. So again, this bevel is actually, causing a geo to go by 2 million, right? So you don't really have to do this, but if your machine allows for it, it's just additional detail that I think it will just simply catch the light a little bit better. You could stay with 1 segment or just, forget about it altogether. Or if it's still too much for your computer, what you could do is simply create a plane and create vertical cuts in it. Not just tiny ones like these ones, or simply leave it open, it's fine too. So these are your options, right? So this would do. And now let's see, this one, I don't know if there's a bevel on it. There is a bevel on it. That's good. That's good. We need to check everything for bevels and stuff. So again, let's turn off the scope and laser because we don't need it in the screws. Let's see, everything is peachy. So this one is good. This one is fine. This one is mirrored. Turn off the tripod too because it just confuses me. Now what is this? Oh, this should be going to the tripod. So move it to the tripod. These are the jaws that clamp on the rifle. This one is fine. These 2 are mirrored. The magazine is mirrored. This one is mirrored too. Wait a minute. No, it isn't. These are not mirrored. So let's mirror them across. So let's grab a mirror. Let's move it on top. Wait a minute. Not the bevel. Let's collapse these because it's just too confusing. There we go. Bevel needs to be on top, and solidify mirror needs to be above everything, and last one needs to be weighted normals. There we go. And we need to mirror this across y-axis across this. Right? Perfect. And now we're talking. This is mirrored, top is mirrored, everything is fine. Okay. And these are mirrored, and I think these do not have bevels, so we need to add bevels in here, right? So let's grab a bevel and 3 segments and angle. and simply copy modifier here. So wait a minute, let's add weighted normals too. And then simply copy modifiers. So Control C and copy modifiers. And we're done. And this one is peachy, so all is well. All is well. All right. And I think we're done with this one. Handle is mirrored. There's a small problem in here, you see. So what we're gonna do, right, with this one, we're gonna select these, literally these four, okay? Go to side view, orthographic. Now press Alt to turn on the proportional editing, G, and make this bigger, okay? And move it just a little bit like this, okay? Not too much, until it literally stops clipping, okay? And we perfect, and everything is good in here. Mirrors are applied. Bevel is running. This bevel is a little bit small. Let's copy bevel from this one, okay? Oh, in fact, what's the size in here? Is 0.001. So let's maybe do the same thing. This one's probably smaller. Clamping is on. There we go. Sorted. Just copy the value. This one doesn't look smooth and smoothed out, so let's do this. There you go. And auto smooth as well. Perfect. And the rest looks fine. This one is beveled, right? Or isn't? Or is it? Is it? I think it is. There's some shading problem in here, you see. What we need here is just simply a loop, and we should be fine. So grab a loop here and literally run it down with a knife. Allow this. And peachy. And also, let's combine these two together. And see, pinching is kind of gone. Now this one is going to be difficult to fix, yeah, because this angle is massive. What we could do, it's probably not the best solution, but what we could try is doing this. Yeah, see, it's going to create pinching in here. So the only way to fix this would be to literally run this edge closer. So GG and move it closer like this, okay? And this should fix the problem. It will create pinching here, but then we could remove this one. So let's see if it's actually going to work. Kind of did. So we technically should do the same thing for every single edge, but to be honest, just, you know, can't be bothered. I mean, it's not that visible. It's okay. It looks like a machined kind of issues, you know. So it's gonna find these edges like a machined steel, which is perfectly fine because it's exactly what it is. So could mirror this to the other side to fix this, and everything should be perfect. I mean, theoretically, you know, you could spend hours fixing these tiny bits, but again, I would not recommend, you know, fixing something that you know, will not be that important or that visible, right? So you don't really have to do this. It's the same on this side. That's risky. We could run another mirror, or just simply, you know, literally fix it manually here too. So let's run a knife like this, really close. Okay. And you sort it. There you go. So that will do. And everything else I think is fine. So we're good to go. Alright, so that's the rifle. And let's look at the scope really. I mean, not the scope, I mean the tripod really quickly, yeah? But, you know, I don't think we're gonna have some issues in here, so just quickly look at it. Everything is fine. Everything looks peachy. This could use a little bit more subdivision if you wanted to. I don't know if it's gonna work. We could contain it, to be honest, or we could even separate it, you know, like separate the legs. So what you could, if you wanted to smooth it out, what you could do is cheat a little bit, okay? So watch. You could grab these, right? P to its own selection, right? And, you know, it's split, which is kind of cool, actually, because it will introduce a little bit more geo to it. So what we could do is simply grab a face in here and, you know, close this. Now you're gonna have this protruding element in here, right? Of course, which is not good. So maybe this is not a bad idea, but what you could do is simply, you know, extrude it downwards like this and literally close it, right? And everything is fine from this angle. Now you can't see it from the bottom, which is perfect, right? So what you need to do is literally mark sharp, right? So mark sharp, and there you go. And let me see here. Let me see here. Not this one, this one, this one. I mean mark sharp. Mark sharp here. Boom. This should fix it. Didn't fix it. Okay. Let's simply bevel this. So we could, what is it? Angle. Simply doesn't catch the angle, okay? That's the problem, right? So we could literally bevel it manually. So, you know, just bevel it manually with like, I don't know, 3 of them or something. Bob's your uncle, right? And now you grab this one. Just simply drop a face in here, okay? And literally, what's going on in here? Triple edge. Let's dissolve it, right? And now what you could do is literally Control 1, see, and everything looks perfect. With the exception of, we need to remove these. With the exception of the center, because it's gonna be a circle, it's gonna get divided. But what you can do is you can literally inset it, right? And you don't see the middle because it's hidden, so it doesn't matter. But this one is nicely subdivided. So if you really wanted to smooth it out, that's the way to do it, right? So we could do it with all these in the same way, right? So again, grab this face and, you know, select it and P to its own selection, and then grab this one, and we could grab this edge and extrude it down and close it with a face and extrude it GC to move it a little bit lower, and maybe turn off this proportional editing because it's causing problems. You know, mark this sharp and just bevel it a little bit, and mark this sharp too. And you don't really need to do that one, and simply insert the face in here and Control 1 and Bob's your uncle, and then literally insert this face and you're done. You could actually mark this sharp too. So where is it? Edge, mark sharp, and then insert it, and you're done, right? So, cool way of doing it. And the same with this one. It's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit faceted. So maybe we're gonna do some zooms and close up. Maybe it's not gonna look that hot. So, but again, this is gonna add geo, guys. So, you know, if you're struggling, just skip this step. You don't have to do this. It's not that important. I'm just being anal now, literally. So let's select this edge, mark it sharp. Now let's Control 1 this and literally insert this face, and you're done. And this one needs to be fixed too, right? So select this edge. This is double edge in here, so we need to remove it. It's gonna be causing pinching and stuff. So E, Z, move it down, F, and select this edge, mark it sharp. Where is it? Here. And just, you know, manually bevel it. Just don't go too crazy because you might uncrouch on this bevel here. You gotta be careful, yeah. And there you go. And we're done. And let's check here really quickly if everything is fine. Again, if you wanted to, you could insert screws in here, but to be honest, I'm just gonna leave it. These are a little bit too deep, okay? These are a little bit too deep. So GY, GYY, and move them a little bit up. This one is too deep. GYY. This should be like this. Okay, oh yes, and we need to copy this to the other side. So what we could do actually is, you know, Control J this, right? And literally mirror it. So also there's no bevel on it. So I'll tell you what, add a bevel to these ones, right? And let's add the weighted normals. And how it's gonna behave. This needs to be angled way too big, 3 segments. And make it a little bit smaller. Turn off the clamping and make it smaller, right? It's gonna be really tiny, so 0.0001 or something, or that's too small. Maybe 5. There you go. That will do. And what we're gonna do is bring the rest up, okay? And before we do anything, let's copy modifiers, okay? So let's literally copy the modifiers. So Control C and copy modifiers. And then what we need to do is mirror them. So let's mirror them across this one, right? And let's grab these and copy modifiers. So Control C, copy modifiers. So it's gonna copy the weighted normals, bevels, and mirror at the same time, right? Turn the screws on, and we should be peachy. We should be peachy. Last check, guys, last check. I think we're good. I think we're good. Well, I think we're ready for texturing, guys. So fantastic work. That was a really long course and a lot of work done. But I think, you know, we created something really cool. So hope you guys enjoyed it. And in the next video, we're going to be actually dropping some textures on it. And then we're gonna, think how to render this thing, okay? So thanks for watching and catch you in the next video.